Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go! Do you have absolute certainty about how you go from hello to yes on what you're looking for?
Sean is a master. He teaches. It's not just about sharing the formula with you. It's about making sure that we learn.
I went from $100,000 in debt from law school. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go! Do you have absolute certainty about how you go from hello to yes on what you're looking for?
Sean is a master. He teaches. It's not just about sharing the formula with you. It's about making sure that we learn.
I went from $100,000 in debt from law school to having no money and starting my own law firm on my credit card to selling it 4 years later.
Sean and I, we co-created massive victories in 2 unwinnable jury trials, which are recognized nationally now as top 100 jury verdicts.
To be even on the same track with you, who I respect and admire and love with all my heart.
Never again submit. You're not better and you're not less than any human on earth.
When you shared with us about the Unblinded process and the mastery sales training, I just went, wow.
Sean will gain proximity to the most influential and powerful people. He will find out how he can grow their business, how he can help them personally. But the third thing that he does is the most important. Sean serves without an expectation of getting anything in return.
You have very, very high-performing colleagues.
22 years ago, you transformed my life as you did all these people's lives over the course of time. And I couldn't be more grateful. Let's hear from Tony Robbins.
I don't see him as a lawyer, and I don't see him as a blind person. Someone who has subjugated his ego, who has taught me what serving really looks like.
You have this incredible ability to just have unconditional love for everyone, and that is just an incredible gift.
The moment you have been waiting for.
The American Blind Association is the first new face and voice of that association since Helen Keller.
Formula for formulas, which is exactly what I've learned from Sean. It's a language-based predictable model. We will have over 300 new sales meetings this month.
This superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. If you believe that, say yes. If you believe that, say yes.
Do you think that worked?
Bella, Verita, are you guys ready to rock this? Oh, here we go.
I think that worked, Gina Ricci. How are you? Thank you for bearing with us on a couple of technical moments. Stephanie and her amazing desire for heart and love connection and maybe a little perfectionism, I think, is having a moment and a half here as
to be of service and wanting everybody to have the best experience and definitely wanting connection.
Yes.
I am visual, so if I don't see people, I cannot connect with them.
Yes, and your energy is telling them, the level 5 listening is telling there is a slight degree of defensiveness, aggression, Zeus energy emerged because Satan's laughing because it's a perfect illustration. Yeah. So Scott, am I in a true or false round to put Scott Tennant in the most uncomfortable position ever? Yes. Awesome. Yes. Yes. All right. He doesn't even know. So that was a perfect illustration and everything we're playing here today. But before we get to any of those beautiful things, incredible things, Gina Ricci, welcome back. You had a moment. You overcame, you moved through, you did all the things. We love you to no end. We have the tech team working across 7 continents right now, working on getting us recreated. But who do we have here today? Thank you for being here on this extraordinary Mastery Monday, coming on location from the West Palm Beach area. Lots more to talk about in a moment. But Gina, who's here?
Thank you, Sean Callaghan. We have Mr. Jeff Custer. I think he's the person coming from the coldest spot on this panel, joining us from Minneapolis, outside of Minneapolis. He's a 20-year executive at Excel Energy. He's an expert in leadership, Sean, in building his own leadership training platform. Please, everyone, join me in welcoming Jeff Custer to the Real Raw.
Jeff, how are you? How are you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing wonderful.
Ooh, the tech team from Antarctica coming straight from the North Pole, because we do have a Santa fact that's right here somewhere. Are we live? Are we ready?
We are now live. Yes.
We are now live on the camera.
Amazing. And so
and I can see everybody now. And wait, Team, come back with your Santa.
Mute the phone, guys. Mute the phone one.
We are not coming from the North Pole.
Jeff, it's definitely not the freaking North Pole, as we're all like sweating.
But Jeff, you are close to the North Pole in Minneapolis. But by the way, I don't like disparage the cold. I love the cold. I love the 4 seasons. So Jeff, congratulations on having a winter. Beautiful. I can't wait to get back to New Jersey and winter from this like balmy Florida. Yeah. So Jeff, thank you for being here. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
Awesome. And Jeff, what is your fun fact for today?
My fun fact for today is that outside my window, I have the ability to see 24 goats.
24 goats?
Yes.
That's amazing.
That's a fun fact.
Well, I've heard that, Jeff, you're a goat, as in greatest of all time. So welcome to the party. But I love nature. I love beauty and all the things. And Jeff, what's your mission in the world? Like, what are you here to do? What are you here to create?
Yeah, great question. My passion is about helping people make the leap to leadership.
Ooh, I love this, Jeff. Thank you. We're going to unpack some more and let's have some fun. So Gina, we have Jeff.
I'm having so much more fun now that I can see everyone. Just say,
is everybody here present? Is everybody here present to the difference in Stephanie's energy now that what she needed to happen has happened?
Has happened.
Yes. So,
I can see the people. I can see all these beautiful souls that are here. So yes.
So watch this. So yes, we're going to do the rest of the show this way because it's going to be experiment in Stephanie's self-mastery that is present. Her energy just dropped to the floor because she's like, is he serious or kidding? Is this what's really going to happen? What is he doing? And this is Scott Tennant, by the way, who may or may not have been a part of saving my life. And Tony Robbins said that his dad and Scott saved his life. Extraordinary things, more on that later. But Scott, thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you, Sean. Yeah. Beautiful soul, incredible human being.
Don't you think this is a better experience seeing everyone, Scott?
Stephanie is twitching. I could feel the energy. Her blood pressure has risen. I could feel the dynamics of uncertainty have risen all over the place. And we all love uncertainty, don't we, Stephanie? Like,
I love uncertainty.
Plant medicine is incredible, but you know what Tony Robbins says? We love the uncertainty that we want, not the uncertainty we don't want. So is that true? What do we call, Stephanie, the uncertainty that we don't want?
I don't know.
We call that, Scott, what? I don't either.
Problem.
Think.
Problem.
Yes, the uncertainty we do not want, we call a problem. Yes. Like when I had my aortic dissection, that was uncertainty, but I called it a problem. And the vascular surgeon called it maybe like revenue. I don't know. We all think I'm just kidding. We're having fun today. We're on fire. Gina, so who else do we have?
Oh my God, I love seeing you guys. Okay, we have Christopher Fabiano joining us, president of the Warrior Outreach Project, nonprofit organization for veterans. He's a disabled vet. Thank you so much for your service. He recently got his benefits from the VA after a 14-year battle to do so. Congratulations. There's so much around here. He was Tony Robbins UPW in Newark gave him the idea to create what he's creating and a new leash on life, I believe. So please everyone join me in a new leash on life in welcoming Chris Fabiano.
Well, I'm present to Scott Tennant stripping next to me, which is amazing. But Christopher, first of all, with all of our hearts, thank you for your service. because the fun, the magic, the impact that we all get to have in the greatest country in the history of the world, right? With all kinds of challenges, but still I'll hold the greatest country in the history of the world is because of brave, courageous, incredible souls like yourself and what you've created to give us that freedom. So Christopher, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Christopher, what is your fun fact for today, sir?
My fun fact for today is that I wish that I was still back at UPW.
Well, that's
my fun fact for today. I miss that energy and I miss being a part of that so much. And I just, I had so much fun. And I was crew this year, so that was a totally different experience.
Well, thank you for doing that. And one of the things in all my heart that I say to everyone is, what if we can take the energy of UPW to the world? What if, Christopher, everywhere you go is UPW? Everywhere. And
that's what I'm trying.
Yeah.
I try to bring that. I try to bring that energy with me everywhere I go, and it kind of freaks people out a little bit. And
yes. Yes, it does. But here's the deal.
I was never like that before Tony Robbins. It was definitely a transformational shift.
Yeah. So watch the difference, because we're gonna have fun today. I'm on fire. Right. So here we go. We talk about 12 indispensable elements, 4 energies, and 4 steps of integrous influence. So if I am like this, ready? Right. Stephanie, right? What you should be doing right now is you should feel better and come on, get your energy up. Even though the uncertainty, even though we have connection, it should be like you shouldn't care. Right? What is that going to do, Stephanie?
I have a high level of uncertainty.
Yes, and it's going to drive you nuts.
Yes.
It's going to break rapport, and it's going to make you want to punch me in the face. Right? And so, but if I'm like this, I'm like, hey, Stephanie, listen.
Oh, I like you much better that
way. I'm so sorry. Happening right now. I'm so sorry this is occurring. You know, how are you feeling, right? Like,
I am
what's present
wonderful.
for you?
I am wonderful.
How could I support in any way? What's most present for you about the internet being out and what's happening?
Well, now that the internet is working.
No, we're in the moment when the internet's not working.
Yeah.
We're in the moment where you're in the moment when the internet is not working. So go back to that stress, that state, that presence.
Frustration.
Okay. So what's like present about the frustration?
That I want to see everyone.
Yeah. And listen, by the way, why do you want to see everyone?
Because they've all given their time to be here and I want them to have a great experience.
I can feel your heart, your emotion. Thank you. So what I'm hearing you say is you love people so much, you want to make sure you're having an incredible connection with them.
Yes.
Can I give you a hug? Is that appropriate?
Yes.
Now can I ask you this? If you feel that it wouldn't be in service to these people, we could, since the internet's out, we can't see anybody. We can cancel the show. Would that be? What do you think? What are your thoughts? What would you like to do?
No.
Why not?
Because everyone has already blocked their schedules and times to be here.
Amazing. So what do you think that we should do, even though the internet's out? We're not coming back. What do you think we should do?
Probably call Nicole Maiello so we can get on by phone. Because she makes things happen.
Awesome.
When all else fails, you call Nicole Maiello.
Right. Now, what's happened, Christopher, with Stephanie's energy? What happened to your energy with me being present and lower than you?
I feel like I trust you.
And what has happened to your energy, up or down?
Up.
So what do you think you should do now, Stephanie? You love people. I remember hearing you want to love people, want to serve people. What do we do now? What do you want to do now? What's your intention for the show at this point? My energy is now rising. You feel that, Scott? You feel that my energy is rising, right? So I wouldn't be saying that. So what would you like to do now? What's your intention? What's your commitment for the show, even though we can't see anything?
Even though we can't see anybody, would be to deliver the best experience possible via the phone.
All right, awesome.
And pretend I see people.
Okay, cool. So you can see people, but I'm still feeling like let's take the intention. Let's get ready because you want to deliver at the highest level.
I'm certain I'm getting online. I'm gonna figure out a way.
Okay, but online is broken. The internet's not. right? The computer is smashed and stolen, and your phone is gone, and we only have the ability to listen through Nicole's phone because it doesn't have internet. So now we're ready to deliver. How do you want to deliver?
I want to deliver
Cool.
with.
What's your standard? I don't care. Like, I'm not attached because I just am support of you. What's your standard for delivery? What standard do you want to deliver at?
Standard is always delivering with excellence and.
All right, so the show is ready to go live in 5, 4. So you want to make a statement and get yourself in state the way you normally do, even though you don't have it the way you want it. What's that going to be?
What's the statement?
What's the state that you want to deliver in right now? The show. So, Christopher, that dynamic.
Live coaching by Sean Couch.
That dynamic will happen 95% of time. 5% of time it takes longer. 5% of time people are going to be absolute resistance. Like, I know what you're doing. I don't want to do that, right? But we start matching and mirroring at or below the energy of the other person. One of the great mistakes people make in recruiting people to Christianity, right? And I know lots of wonderful people in that space. One of the great mistakes people make in recruiting people to network marketing. One of the great mistakes that people make in recruiting people to personal development. One of the great mistakes people make in recruiting people to sales teams. One of the great mistakes people make in how they function inside of Congress. One of the great mistakes people make in influencing and recruiting people to do whatever they think would be in service and in love is they start over them and the people shrink or move away. Because every human being we encounter is like a deer. And if they think that when yes is at stake, fear becomes present. And so we would never approach a deer like, hey, and he's like, right? And so it's like less energy, smaller, slower, match, bring people up. How does that feel, Christopher? To carry UPW forward everywhere you go in the world. How does that feel?
That sounds good. That sounds good. I got some experience as a state inducer at UPW doing that. So that sounds great.
Yes. And absolutely, unquestionably. And by the way, so just, and because I don't know who knows who and what, I'm going to be speaking on Tony's stage for the 14th time tomorrow. And the reason, and they entrust me with something that matters enormously to them. And what is it, Scott, that they entrust me with when I speak on Tony's stage? Truth. And what is it that they're entrusting me with, Stephanie?
Their ecosystem.
Yeah, people stepping forward into yes for platinum partnership, which is an enormous part of the economic engine of what goes on. And I've stepped onto stage after people have been on stage before me, and their states, Christopher and everybody, have been in the tank because they felt sold to. They felt the energy that was present was like the energy of sales. So I stepped up on a stage at Business Mastery about 2 years ago, right before COVID. And I stepped on, and Nicole, come around real quick. How much had the energy been shut down in that room, Nicole? How much had the energy been shut down in that room?
It was like somebody came into the room and announced that all holidays will be canceled for 2022.
Yeah. And so what do you do with that? You match it. So I stood up and said, hey, does anybody sense like the energy of sales in the air? And I could hear Sage's brother, Scott Humphrey, his heart skipped 3 beats across 100 yards in the room. He's like, what is he doing now? But until you step into that space and say what is and what's present in integrity, you can't create the connection. And in that moment, people are like, I could feel like the energy of curiosity rise. And we stepped forward, had an amazing, amazing session, and causing people to understand what was available and had a record-breaking day, right? And so that's what all we're saying is, in this work here, how do we get our message? How do we connect with people? What's the space? We took a bunch of time there, but like matching and mirroring where people are and Stephanie's doing role play is a vital dynamic. So Gina, Christopher, how's that feeling for you?
Feels good.
Awesome. All right, so we have Christopher and Gina. Who else do we have?
We have Mr. Nicholas Morose, who works with Christopher on his Warrior Outreach project. He's owner and manager of 2 small businesses, home improvement contracting, fintech consulting, and he knows what he's doing to help Chris with what they're up to in the world. And we are so glad you're with us today. Welcome, Nicholas Morose, to The Real Raw.
Thank you.
Nicholas, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. Awesome. And what are you up to in the world, my friend? What is your fun fact?
Well, the fun fact for today is despite the cold weather we've been having here in New York, 30s, 40s, 20s, today it was 60 degrees, so I like that.
Very nice. Oh, getting warm weather. And what's your mission in the world? I know you're working with Christopher, but what are you creating in the world? You win and the world wins. Well, what happens, Nicholas?
So, what I'm most interested in is technology and the way that technology can help people, navigate the new world that is now, the new world that is coming, and in the future. And that's how I was able to, that's what I was able to bring to the table with the Warrior Outreach Project. Chris and I had been friends for a couple of years. He told me about his idea, so I said, listen, I'll come on board. And I do small business accounting as well. I incorporate my own businesses. I said, I'll help you guys incorporate. We'll get the nonprofit status. We'll get up and running. And once we had all that, it was like, wow, I really want to be involved in this. And, because we really need your help. So veterans is an issue that I feel very strongly about, and I'm very happy to be involved.
That's awesome, brother. Well, thank you so much for being here. You ready to have some fun?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. The told me maybe not. So
I'm ready to have some fun.
All right, awesome, brother.
Ready to have some fun presupposes that they're not having fun already, Sean.
That is true. Yes.
Because how do you know Nicholas isn't already having fun?
I was having fun before you got here, Sean.
See? They were having fun before I got here.
Thank you. Perfect. So Gina, who else?
We have with us this beautiful woman who was with us for a short time at Unblinded Miami, Miss Stormy King, joining us, I think, from Tampa Bay, right, Stormy, you said, and owner of Stormy Rose. Please, everyone, join me in welcoming Stormy King to the Real Raw.
Stormy, how are you?
I'm amazing.
Awesome. And Stormy, what is your fun fact?
My fun fact. Let's see. Well, my fun fact would be that my daughter's 12-year-old dog likes to jump in the pool in the middle of the night before she gets to go to the bathroom. So we have to walk from my room to get past the pool to get to the yard, and she jumps in the pool before she goes to the backyard. That's kind of my fun, strange fact.
That is
That is a fun fact. That is a fun, strange fact.
Yes, and Stormy, do you ever jump in the pool with the dog?
Not in the middle of the night, no. Maybe I should try.
Yes.
What kind of dog is this?
She's just a mixed mutt. She's a rescue.
Oh.
Excellent. And Stormy, what's your mission in the world?
My mission in the world is to help children who are in the foster care system. So often children lose their voice and don't have enough, there's not enough advocates in the world to advocate for them in court. And I was one of the first children to ever receive a CASA advocate back in the early 80s. And so that is my volunteer mission in the world, but I would like to share with the world how the system is broken and needs to be changed.
That's awesome. Well, Stormy, thank you for the work you do in the world to help and support kids. And thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Gina.
We have from the Miami area, last but certainly not least, Mr. Albert Corey with us, Senior Accounting Advisor, owner of Corey & Associates, speaker on the Small Business Expo Tour, Sean, and national syndicated radio shows. He's an author. Please, everyone, join me in welcoming Albert Corey to the Real Raw.
Albert, how are you?
Awesome.
Awesome. And what is your mission with regard to small businesses in this country?
I think I deal with hundreds of small businesses in the store, and they need to know some simple processes in accounting to take their business to the next level, because they're the ones who's going to go out and change the world. We can't depend on the government to do it. So small businesses do well, they can go help change the world. Last thing I know, broke people can't change anything.
Yes, amen to that. And what is your fun fact, my friend?
My fun fact is, we're in Miami, and we decorate palm trees with Christmas lights and ornaments in front of our house.
That is awesome. I
We
love
saw
this.
one of those last night.
We
Well,
did.
Nicole and I saw this last night. We were
Yes,
describing it to you.
I definitely did not see it.
Yes.
That is very true because I am blind, so I definitely did not see it. But
Then you would hear the Christmas music on one of the neighborhoods' house that has the blinky lights.
yes, no, it was absolutely beautiful. I'm joking, and we had a wonderful time experiencing that, and they pointed it out for me. So, Albert, are you ready to rock and roll here today?
Always.
All right, awesome. So this one to my left, the co-host of The Real Raw, the amazing heart-centered leader that is an 8-year-old whistling crest on her front lawn, progressed to being a 7-figure earner space of network marketing, then became not the number 19, 17, 13, 15, 11, 5, 7, or 3, not the number like 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, but the number 1 business broker in the state of Nevada at the ripe old age of 24. Youngest person ever to do it, first woman ever to do it, the one, the only co-host of Real Raw, speaking on stages around the world, including in tents in Florida, Stephanie Ann Behan.
So Shauna, I was going to share the fun fact that I too was a CASA in San Diego, but what became present for me is I am curious for you what was happening with your energy while I was like fishing through my backpack and finding things, because I could definitely feel your energy shift and drop as I'm like messing with things over here.
Yes, because presence and focus on our amazing guests are unbelievable. So what were you fishing for in your backpack, in your bag?
I was getting my water, like getting things right. I just think it's funny because movement messes with your energy, not seeing things messes with my energy. So that is what
Actually, I was more like wanting to say, stop fishing, stop moving, stop doing, and become present with people.
But I'm a woman, so I can be present and digging for things in my backpack at the same time.
Yeah, but
Did we not hear this from Tony Robbins?
We
this
did,
week?
but the women that are here and the men that are here will be present to your lack of presence, because for men, we cannot do multiple things at once. So that means to every man here that you're no longer paying attention to them. Yes, that is present and amazing.
Someone say lack of presence?
Yes. Oh, but there are presents.
There
right
are
here.
presents.
So we are having fun. This is not the Sonny and Cher show. So let's go on. Gina Ricci, we love you. We're so happy that you're healthy, strong, and back, and all the things. We're going to make magic happen. I'm going to drink a beautiful, wonderful shake in a moment or two while I hold my nose for Scott Tennant. Maybe he'll change your life in the entire world, but that's not his fault. I don't even eat lettuce. But let's do this thing.
Let's
So
do this
Gina,
thing.
we love it.
All
Let's
right.
go.
Love you guys. Ciao, everyone. I think it's ready to rock
Yeah,
and
so
roll.
tell me what this is.
So, Chris, what
Chris
is,
or Christopher?
what could do it? It says Chris on the screen. Do you prefer Chris or Christopher?
Chris is fine.
Chris. Okay.
Yes.
So, Chris, we are playing the game of influence. So, in this next 3 minutes is an opportunity. I can be anyone you want me to be, as long as it's in integrity, that you're going to get to go from hello to yes with. So, who would you want me to be?
To go from no from yes to,
Yes.
I would say either an executive at New Jersey Transit, where I was going to petition them for land to use for the RV parks, or possibly an executive at the Boy Scouts, because we're going to possibly petition them for use of their land, because we know that they could.
Chris, I like lots of power, so let's go with New Jersey Transit.
Yes.
Okay.
Or New York Transit, I think you said.
No,
No,
New
didn't
Jersey.
say New Jersey.
It is
And I
New
just
Jersey.
moved to New Jersey, Chris. So I think it seems right that I would already have this kind of power.
Yes. So
Okay.
Stephanie, by moving to New Jersey, is absolutely present with the fact that she's now runs New Jersey Transit. So please take us in.
Hello,
Well,
this is Stephanie.
Well, excellent. Thank you for having me. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what we're doing with veterans. And seeing that you guys have so much unused land throughout the state of New Jersey.
Hold on, Chris, because I'm unable to hear you because now there's a whole side conversation going on at the table. So did you guys want to role play with Chris?
Yes, we would love to role play Christopher. We're just talking about the magical.
All right. Because Sean loves it when side conversations are going on, like when he's like coaching and there's a side conversation 2 feet from him. He absolutely loves that too. My pepper spray, I can't find it.
Okay, please continue, Chris.
Okay, so I would start off by introducing myself and my nonprofit, and then I would say, well, I've traveled throughout New Jersey quite a bit, and I noticed that there's quite a bit of land that is dedicated for railroad use, or was dedicated once for railroad use, and is no longer being used. And we would like to petition you to be able to utilize that land to create RV parks for veterans and veterans only. Veterans typically, if they're having housing trouble, will run to RV parks or to RVs before they'll go to a shelter or something like that. And there are not very many RV parks, and the RV parks that are available are quite expensive.
I just
In
want
New
to, I
Jersey-
think, Chris, I think we've already got like some plans for these properties. So, I mean, I'm not sure if this would be the most valuable use for our property or not.
Well, the properties that I'm speaking about are properties that were utilized in the past and now are just eyesores and overgrown.
But you're calling my properties eyesores.
Unfortunately, yes, that is what's happened, and some of your neighbors believe so as well. And we would like to go ahead and we would like to bring some positive publicity, especially with the happenstance that you guys took some properties with eminent domain and never built the railroad that you had planned there. We figured that since that was one of the last big scandals or publicity that you guys got in the New York, New Jersey area, we'd like to do something that would, one, help us and also help create some positive publicity for you and for New Jersey Transit as well. And seeing that
I'll say, Chris, the thing that has really gotten me most in this conversation is, positive publicity. So I think, on that note, that's something that we can definitely continue. I would like to hear more about how you think that would help us with our positive publicity.
Well, with how many residents were torn down using eminent domain, there were a lot of people that were quite irritated that the railroad had never materialized. So now this property sits undeveloped, and unfortunately, that's not the best look for New Jersey Transit. What we would like to do is we would like to bring our nonprofit. You'll still own and maintain the ownership of the land, but we would like to retain a multiple year lease from you so that we could create this positive RV park for veterans and veterans alone, so that we can offer this to some of our nation's most important people.
Well, Chris, I will say this. I got to run right now. My father is a veteran, so I do have a soft spot for veterans. I would definitely, want to know a little bit more, about this, what it's gonna look like. So maybe we can have a longer conversation at a different point.
Absolutely. And I just also want to let you know that since it's an RV, what we're designing is an RV park, had you guys needed use of the land, we would only need a couple of months notification, maybe 6 or so months to notify the residents so that we could get them out, because all these RVs have wheels and we could move quite easily, so you could have your property back quite simply.
Well, Chris, this definitely sounds like a good use of the land. So we'll see what we can do.
Excellent. Thank you for your time.
Chris, excellent job. I love what you're up to in the world. Which way are we going, Steph?
Let's go. Our other participant is Mr. Jeff.
Jeff, are you ready to go, sir?
Probably not, but we'll go anyway.
Amazing. And why would you not be ready to go?
I don't know. You put me on the spot, but that's good.
No, it is amazing. So we often say here, these are things we offer, right? We offer, consider as beliefs, is that there's no spot whenever on the hot seat, even though Stephanie's going to try to put me on it in a minute, right? There's no hot seat, there's no spot. And for all of us, as we walk around the world, we're engaged in hello to yes in every moment, in every conversation about everything. What movie, what food, like we're all happy or not happy. We're driving forward in our management, leading, selling, recruiting, fundraising, for profit, not for profit. We're engaged in hello to yes at every single second of every single day in every way. So we offer is like, and we don't learn this. We learn about history, and we learn about nations, and we learn about who was the president, who was this, and when this happened. And I'm not saying we shouldn't have a sense of history, but I am baffled by is if the only attainable superpower, or if what drives all things is influence, the ability to get yes at everything we sell, market, lead, manage, recruit, raise money for, literally, that's how everything operates in the capitalist structure, how we elect our officials, how teachers convince kids to learn. Everything is that. And how come we don't teach it at like the highest levels of mastery, the same way we would teach neuroscience, same way we teach chemistry, and all of it. So all I suggest is that for all of us who are present to, that we're looking to go from hello to yes in every situation, every day, because Jeff, Chris, everybody here, you have a mission. You have vision, you have love for humanity and people to bring things forth. My God, what Chris is doing, what Stormy is doing, Jeff, what you're doing, causing leadership in the world, to open people's listening, to bring them present to your mastery, your genius, your amazingness, is what's happening every day that dictates how large your impact goes. So that's all. So all Stephanie's going to be is on the other end of the yes you see. How's that sound?
Great. That's great.
All right, awesome. So Steph, take us in.
All right. Wait, who am I?
All right, Stephanie, you are the owner of a medium-sized business. Probably doesn't really matter what the business is, but a medium-sized business that doesn't have a big HR function or training function.
I'm very familiar with a company like this. Hello, this is Stephanie.
Hey, Stephanie, I'm Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
It's great to meet you, and I just wanted to tell you a little bit about what we do, and maybe find out a little bit about what your situation is and what your needs might be. My company works on developing leaders, and one of the things I like to say is we help people make the leap to leadership. And what I mean by that is we work with new and aspiring leaders to help them become really effective, successful leaders. And one of the things that I've observed is people in small businesses a lot of times struggle with trying to get that accomplished. So a question for you, Stephanie, today is, tell me a little bit about how do you develop leaders in your company?
Well, I think, I've got a couple of different companies, and how we develop our leadership is, we work, one of our companies, Unblinded, has 12 indispensable elements. And through those 12 indispensable elements, that's how we truly cultivate the leadership in our organizations. And we've modeled that, in our law firms and our financial companies. We've modeled those 12 indispensable elements.
Oh, that's great. So maybe tell me a little more. What do you think are a couple things that you maybe struggle with?
In leadership?
Yeah, in developing new leaders.
I would say finding the right people.
Okay.
Finding the right people that are aligned with the mission, that are aligned with our level of service, that are that have the same level of heart that we do.
Oh, that's great. So one of the things I would just like to ask you is we'd be interested in working with your company on helping you maybe talk through and work through that issue of how do you identify those people that'll fit as leaders in your group, and then help you develop those people. So what do you think of that?
I mean, I don't know that is a huge problem for us, but definitely if you have a way to help find the right people, that could definitely be a conversation.
That sounds great. Well, let's get together and have that conversation.
Awesome. Great job, Jeff.
Excellent job, my friend. Stephanie, how'd that feel for you?
That was absolutely amazing.
Jeff, awesome job. Awesome job.
Thank you.
So let's go to our judges and see what scores they have for.
I'm just curious, though. I'm curious how many patting on the table and snapping I would get once you start. If I go sit here and have a conversation with Scott, how many snaps and countings on the table am I going to get?
At least 480.
I know. Yes.
But I thought you had diffuse awareness.
I do have diffuse awareness, which is why I was able to hear everything that Jeff said.
That is amazing. That is amazing. So who are our judges?
Our amazing judges. Let's start with Nicholas.
Okay, so how are we judging? Is it on a scale or just subjective or what?
Yeah. So you're gonna go on a score of 1 to 10. On a 1 being like I run the other way, jump at the window. A 5 being, I might listen on a second. A 10 being I am like so drawn to this conversation, and I have to be, this person must be in my life. And you're gonna go 50, and that's the score. The feedback's gonna be 15 seconds what worked, 15 seconds of what could be optimized.
Okay. So should I do Chris first or Jeff first?
Yeah, let's go Chris first.
Okay, so Chris, I would give a 7.5 out of 10. What I liked at work was, as Stephanie said, the positive publicity would be great, for the people you were pitching to. The cause for veterans obviously is something that should be, in my opinion, appealing to any American who's patriotic, and any national or state organization obviously, wants that image. The negatives that I saw were maybe the wording you used maybe added some negative connotations, like with the scandals, the eyesores, and it's important to make them aware of that, but maybe a little bit different in phrasing the phrasing used could possibly put them on the defensive. So maybe a little different phrasing to make it a more positive sounding pitch would have them more open to what you were telling them.
Nice. And then Nicholas, what is your score for Chris?
I said 7.5 out of 10.
Nice. Yeah.
And your feedback for Jeff?
Jeff, so I like how you started with the question. Instead of just coming out and saying, what you were offering or whatnot, you asked them a question. So from that, you got information on them, and them giving you information gives you something to relate to, something to work with. And that's a great place to start from, in my opinion, because then you can get to their level. You can empathize with them and speak to them from some place that they can identify with, rather than just coming off and pitching whatever you're pitching, blindly.
Beautiful. And your score for Jeff is?
Jeff, I'll give 8 out of 10.
What was it?
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Awesome. So next, Stormy, are you with us? So next, let's go to Albert.
I'm here.
And then, Stormy, if you can come back with us, so we can go to you next. So Albert, let's go to you.
Chris, I gave him an 8. His was really, really out there. I enjoyed it. Probably, as Nicholas said, you shouldn't really put any negative. And I would have put a little bit more spin, okay, hey, look, you got this land, let's put it to use, and we'll put a sign that says donated by, whatever, so you can really get more out of it. That's the only negative I saw. And obviously don't put like, oh, you had scandals, because if you said that, you might just turn off the guy, whoever you're trying to hook. But if you would have said, hey, we'll put a nice sign donated by, you said, we'll put a nice, say, hey, this was donated by blah, blah. They love that. That's how they get the positive.
Albert, that is some great feedback. And it sounds like you might know a little bit about this thing Sean talks about, level 5 listening, but we'll get to that in just a moment. What is your score for Chris?
8.
8. Awesome. And your feedback for Jeff?
Jeff, I didn't even know there's a million people who do what you're doing. So if you're going to go out there and promote, what is your twist? What is one way to say, oh man, I need you? And I couldn't figure out, there's a million people trying to sell you leadership skills. But what makes you different? See, I didn't hear nothing different that says, oh man, I need to call Jeff right away.
And your score for Jeff is?
I said about a 4 because I couldn't figure out what his twist was on his leadership. What made him different?
Great feedback. Great feedback, Jeff. And there's Albert, and we're going to get to something magical here in just a moment, but let's go to Stormy next. Stormy, your feedback for Chris.
So Chris, I would say an 8. Vets are part of my heart. My husband's a vet, so that caught my attention right away. I'm going to say the same with the negative, the scandals, that kind of stuff kind of struck me, but it also caught my attention. The other one, I would have gone in with kind of a general proposal, this something physical in hand to hand over if you could have, and left that meeting with another appointment set. She had to go. She was trying to kind of shoo you off. That would have been can I book another appointment? When can I see you again?
Did you give Chris a score?
An 8.
An 8. Awesome. And for Jeff?
Jeff, I'm very similar to Albert. I have so many friends and myself as well, also in that leadership field. What sets you apart from anybody else? What makes you the person I need to spend my money on? It would be my biggest one. And I also gave you an 8.
Beautiful. Awesome job.
Great feedback. We have a guest, Stephanie, the most heart-centered sales leader I've ever seen. Oh no, wait, it's Adam. Oh, hey. Adam Gugino, who took his company from $3 million to $750 million, walked away for integrity. Adam Gugino, where are we and what's happening? Where did you come from?
West Palm Beach, Florida, of course.
These are a lot of folks from UPW. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Yeah, we are spending time, Date with Destiny, live here, 5,000 people all across the world, about 200, 300 platinum partners, and it is a wild, incredible, magical experience.
So where is it coming from? Like, what is the space?
The space is an unbelievable studio with a studio audience live with, again, TVs all over, with thousands of people all over the world. And we are up close and personal.
Whose studio is it?
Tony Robbins.
And is this the inaugural, and what is this, like, event?
This is Date with Destiny. The Date with Destiny event.
The inaugural event ever in the studio.
This is the first, inaugural event ever in the studio.
Nobody's ever been in this studio before, other than to deliver the show. So there's a live audience here for the first time, and you're a part of it.
And I'm a part of it, and I am blessed and grateful, and I am living it.
Yes.
Sure.
So it's awesome. All right. So Adam, we're gonna step into, like, you wanna like try to torture me more. So go ahead.
Yes. Well, it's not really torture, Sean, because what I think we get to do next in the demonstration of what Integra's influence actually is absolutely magical, because this is the point of the show where I know you change lives. So, and it's an opportunity to see the magic that you bring to folks. So what we get to do is, we have these amazing participants, Chris and Jeff, come on and, go from hello to yes on, something random, maybe not so random. And so this is a point in the show where someone is getting to choose, and maybe I could get to choose this one, but someone will get to choose on a scenario that they would randomly put Sean where he would go from hello to yes.
I'll walk away and you guys could pick the scenario. And then so I don't hear any of it. You could influence it if you want and make it as hard as you want. So I'll go away. Good.
Okay.
Or let them pick. Good.
Okay. So we get to pick anything random. So I have an idea, but does anyone because I was thinking, actually, Chris, I think what you do has a lot of value and importance in the world. And my father is a veteran. So I think getting Sean to see how he would go from hello to yes, being that he lives in New Jersey, how he would go from hello to yes with the New Jersey Transit could be quite valuable. But what do you guys think? Would you align with that, wanting to see that? Okay, we got some thumbs up. Chris, how does that feel for you?
Definitely.
So would you like for him to role play with you or somebody else here?
I would like for him to role play with somebody else so I could get a better perspective.
Okay. Would anybody, Albert, would you like to be the New Jersey Transit?
Sure.
All right. So Albert is a New Jersey Transit. John Callaghan.
Yes. I have heard none of this. So Adam, you're this man. Did we hear any of what's
No, I was distracting you to make sure you didn't hear any of it.
Right. So what are we doing?
Okay. So we are all aligned that seeing you go from hello to yes with the New Jersey Transit would be massively beneficial, not only to the veterans of the world, not only to Chris, but to everyone here. And Albert is willing to be the New Jersey Transit.
Thank you, Albert, for that. And I love Albert's straight shooting. And again, forgive some of our noise and feedback and the wind and the rain here on location outside of alligators outside of Tony Robbins' studio. So and Chris, I want to make sure I get it perfectly. The hello to yes, the yes I am seeking from New Jersey Transit eventually is a what? The yes is
to allow use of land that is not currently utilized for railroad projects or land that was taken by eminent domain and is not being used for those projects that were scrapped, and allow us to use them for RV parks for veterans, because there really aren't.
That's exactly what I thought. I just want to make sure I had it. So is there anything else you would like me to, anything else you'd like me to know?
That I would like to take this national, because there are a lot of places that we could do this in.
That's a very valuable fact. Thank you, brother. Okay.
Thank you.
So Albert, you ready?
Yes, sir.
So Albert, thank you for the 3 minutes, 4 minutes that you've said. And do you still have that 3 or 4 minutes for me today? Because I want to make sure this works for you still.
3 minutes. I have another meeting that I must go to.
Thank you. I appreciate the time. I'll keep it within that parameter. So may I ask you, Albert, within our 3 minute parameter, we got 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go. What is your mission and vision? Why do you do what you do for New Jersey Transit? And I understand a lot of people are like, oh, government work. I believe that people have a mission, the vision, and a purpose at a high level. I've heard great things about you. Would you mind sharing what it is for you?
Our mission is to move the people in and out of the state of New Jersey with less stress and effort, so they can live their daily lives.
That's an awesome thing. And so I'm hearing like caring for people, caring for humanity as a part of the mission and vision for New Jersey Transit. Am I hearing that correctly?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And what like resonates for you about that? Like, why are you in your role there? I get New Jersey Transit's mission and vision. Sir, what's Albert's mission and vision as it relates to New Jersey Transit and your life overall?
Because I don't want people stuck in traffic. I want people to get what they want to live their lives.
It's beautiful. All right. Getting what you want, living their lives. So would it be okay? I know we don't have a ton of time. If I shared a little bit about what I'm up to and see how it does resonate or not for you.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'm imagining, Albert, that you and New Jersey Transit care about efficiency, like in the integrity of efficiency. Like integrity is an interesting word. Like it's about lying and not lying, sure, but it's also about utility. It's about sustainability. And there's no sustainability if there's inefficiency with New Jersey Transit and how it causes people to get where they're going, because then we're stuck and we get stuck with things. Is that fair that I'm hearing that?
Yes.
Yeah. So I too am aligned. My name is Chris again, about efficiency in the world. And what I see that exists is a massive inefficiency in how we take care of people, our veterans. And there is no doubt that we want to create greater and greater mechanisms and ways that New Jersey Transit serves the people in New Jersey. But I also see that the way we can serve our constituents here in New Jersey is to do a better job taking care of veterans, humanity, and people. And what I'm here to talk about is that there's massive amounts of land.
Oh, you got stuck.
Time in the near or even far future. And the conversation I want to have is how can we serve residents sustainably, efficiently in New Jersey to cause a different paradigm for veterans. And I see ways that this can happen with New Jersey Transit. And I get it's a longer conversation, it's a longer day. But my question for you, Albert, is this. Does this resonate at all with you for efficiency, sustainability, most importantly, impacting people so they're not stuck anymore? So people aren't suffering. If they suffered unnecessarily, we have dormant land that sits there. And what can we do in our hearts for people to cause something different? And I'll just add this. If you would honor me with the ability to take you through a slideshow, take you through a 30-minute conversation that it wouldn't interfere in any way with the mission for New Jersey Transit. If it does, throw me out. But what it could do is create a ripple effect across the nation in every state in the country to do the same thing with this land that is lying dormant. So is any part of your heart touched, any part of your vision encountered, Albert? What's present for you?
Sounds good. Call the office and they'll set a time.
All right. I really appreciate that, brother. Thank you very much. Out of roll. Chris, how did that feel for you, Chris?
I felt good. I felt it.
Thank you. And Scott, I heard you over here saying something, and I felt some energy. What was present for you?
I just said it was awesome. I just love the way you just went in and just dropped into your heart and talked about, helping the veterans and, making it happen and using the resources available.
Awesome.
It was just awesome. It was very heart-centered.
Awesome. I appreciate
I'm
it.
watching AG's face, who's been been with you for a couple of years now. And I was watching his face, and I feel like you were even mesmerized in that.
I was not mesmerized because I'm not surprised anymore. I was emotional. I was touched. I personally, veterans, I pride myself in absolutely loving the commitment and the service. And then to bring those two together for me was just like incredible. Yeah.
Thank you. And Steph, how'd that feel for you?
Oh, it was, the thing that was present for me, Sean, is how you were always at service. And even, when I was in truthfully and transparently, as I was sitting over there, even with how we started the show and like that moment and this and that was to be of service and to teach and to accelerate. What I became present to
And to listen to you, because you told me to take teaching opportunities, right?
Yeah. And then what became like present is, then in my defensiveness that I can somehow, then I kept saying things to you, but it wasn't teaching anything. It wasn't of service to anything other than to, maybe be a little funny, but it wasn't of service. And that is what I really became present to, is that sitting over there is every conversation that you have that you're so masterful at is how do you add value and be of service? How do you add value and be of service? And that is what integrity-based influence is all about, is adding value and being of service.
And you're adding value and of service every day that we're here. And I mean this, everybody. Like what Adam said, his emotions, I am fully present to. Like Chris, Chris's mission dies and goes nowhere without the ability to get yes. Dies, done, complete, finished, right? Every one of our dreams, our missions, and some of our dreams save lives, transform lives, impact lives. All of our missions and dreams add value. And Albert said it so beautifully before. He's like, yeah, like people without resources and scarcity, without money, are destroyed. Albert's mission changes the world. And the more optimal he is, I am, Stephanie is, Stormy is, all of us are here at generating yes is what makes the world a different and greater place. And quite honestly, the ability to get yeses more optimally than people who are not in alignment with making the world a greater place. So thank you all for being here. And that's the mission, the impact. We have fun, we laugh, we're a little crazy, we joke around, but the mission, the vision is what it's all about. So thank you each and every one for being here. And Stormy, let's start with you. How was your time with us here today?
I loved it. I had a blast and actually sent my girlfriend a message and said, you need to be here. So I sent her information to Sam.
Oh, thank you, Stormy. And we mean it with all our heart. And which way you want to go for the feedback?
Let's go with Jeff.
Jeff, how was your day? What is present for you, sir?
I think it was, really appreciate getting the frank feedback. I think it's, we're taking some notes while we were going through the conversation and just kind of reflecting. So, just think some really good questions to think through.
Yeah, and Jeff, we're not leaving here. I don't want to leave here without serving you in that way. So, brother, from your heart, why do you love leadership? Why do you love leadership and want to transform leadership? I've heard that said. Why do you love leadership and want to transform it?
In kind of thinking through, after, just after the discussion, I think I just observe and hear that there are just so many toxic leaders in organizations all over the world. And it doesn't need to be that way. And so I appreciate Albert's feedback because I think it's, very poignant feedback. But
and brother, people teaching toxic leadership are going to hurt the world.
Yep.
Unless you, like Albert, are able to articulate why you. So let's do that right now. Why are you, Jeff? I hear your heart. I hear your desire to crush toxic leadership. or overcome it or disrupt it or accelerate past it into integrous, loving leadership? Why are you, Jeff, uniquely positioned in your heart to do that?
Yeah, I'm not sure I know the answer to that.
I do. And I know you already, because you care and see the difference between toxic leadership and loving leadership.
Okay.
It's in your heart, it's in your soul, it's in your being. Is it not?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you, every time you see leadership that diminishes, that suppresses, that oppresses, does it bring something up in your heart and desire to shift it? Yes or no?
Yes.
And where did that journey begin for you, Jeff? Where did you learn the difference between toxic leadership and true loving integrous leadership? Where did you begin to see that difference?
You know, I think where I really first started seeing that is when I became a leader of leaders. So you're past that first level of leadership to where you have frontline contributors that work for you versus a spot where I've been in where you've got leaders that work for you. And so now my responsibility is different in that I have a responsibility to those frontline employees to make sure that I choose and train good leaders for them.
How long have you been leading leaders, Jeff?
Oh, about 20 years.
Okay, and what's the thing you're most proud of that's happened tangibly? You grew something by whatever, somebody that was suicidal didn't commit suicide, something transformed. Like, what would be the fact, one thing you're most proud of in 20 years? Not the generality, but some specific event, moment, outcome that you, Jeff, as leader of leaders for 20 years produced, that is the most thing you're most proud of.
Yeah, I mean, I probably got to ponder that a little bit, but one thing that comes to mind right away is we had some operational things that other people in our organization said it's impossible for you to do, and the team of leaders I had not only achieved it but kind of crushed that goal. And and I love looking back on that and just remembering people in the organization say that's, we really wish that was the outcome we could get, but we don't believe it's possible.
So I Jeff, so here's the distinction to Albert's point. I, Jeff, have been leading leaders for 20 years, but I wasn't ready to lead leaders until I learned ABCD. And now after 20 years, I've had opportunities in my leadership amongst leaders where people say, this is impossible, can't be done. Every day, people are screaming, it cannot be done. My work in the world, as I've lived practically for 2 decades, people read a book, people read John Maxwell, people read this nonsense. I've led leaders, not frontline people, leader of people. I've led people that lead people for 2 decades in the real and practical world. And I create disruption in my teaching, learning, melding the theoretical to the practical. That's who I am, Jeff. Jeff, is that who you are?
Yeah, I think so. I think you probably said it better than I do, but I think that
I know I do. That's what I do for a living. And when you do, you open listening more. Albert.
Because I think, I've found myself saying, similar thing. The thing that I think I bring is kind of that practical approach. I've done this. I'm not coming from the ivory tower of the university.
It's not only how you say it, but what you say. It's how you say it, when you say it, right syntax, depth of connection. Albert, if that's what Jeff delivered, would your score for him have been different?
Yes, because you have to say, hey, I was CEO of Fortune 500 companies. I was vice president of blah, blah, blah. And we saw that if there was no leadership, the systems crashed.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to show you my ninja tricks to bring your people up to the top.
Yeah. Yep. My ninja tricks, or whatever resonates for you, right? Or my disruptive, heart-centered leadership techniques, right? Right.
Yeah.
So thank you, Jeff. Thank you for being here, brother. I appreciate you very much, and for the ability to step into this. Thank you. And Albert, how was your time with us here today?
It was very good. Thank you. Very good. It was the second time. Sometime last year we hooked up.
Amazing.
So I came back.
Well, thank you. Welcome back, brother. Who have we not heard share yet?
Nicholas Stormy and Chris.
We got Stormy.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry,
So,
guys, I gotta go. Somebody just walked in. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thanks, brother. Chris, how was your experience here today?
Oh, it was excellent. It was excellent. I appreciate the feedback, especially the perspective of seeing you guys, have that conversation, and seeing where you came from it, what perspective you came with, Sean, really opened my eyes, and I have more to develop in our business plan, but you definitely gave me several ideas on what to elaborate and how to bring them more personally invested in the project.
Thank you, brother, and great job. And please, thank you for your service, and your mission is vital and important for people. So thank you for being
Thank you. I know that this has legs because everyone that I speak to about it and everyone I tell about it sees that it's going to grow and either wants to donate or encourage somehow or help, and it's been all that positive feedback is definitely great motivation.
And final, brother, it's not just positive, it's them buying into you. They believe in you, they will donate. If you want to open up lemonade stands to help dogs have a place to get lemonade, right? I mean that sincerely. They believe in you, and there's a problem, they will invest in you. And I've worked a lot of nonprofits. I've raised millions of dollars for charity in the last 24 months, directly and indirectly, and they will buy into you. Not the problem. It's all about buying into Chris. So keep up the great work, man. And Nicholas, how was your time? How was your time with us here today?
I had a great time. It was great to meet everybody. It was really great to feel the energy coming in from all around the country that you guys have. Very positive energy, strong energy from everyone. It was good to hear the role playing and see the feedback from different perspectives, as well as the different perspective of the role playing. When you took Chris's role. And thank you for having us. It's a great time.
Thanks, brother. Great job. Final step. And by the way, great job today.
Yeah. Final is the team just put in the chat a gift from Sean and I. Definitely download that because, Jeff, one of the things that you talked about, I heard you say was questions. And one of the 12 indispensable elements is question mastery. And so in that gift is what question mastery is, what are the 12 indispensable elements, how Sean uses acknowledgement and validation to open listening to be able to go from hello to yes. So definitely download that guide in the chat. And, there is a reason, we're here in Tony Robbins' studio, and there is a reason that Tony Robbins says there's no one that leads with more heart and more integrity than Sean Callaghan. And in this ecosystem where nobody gets close to, Tony Robbins gets close to this ecosystem, everyone here always says we ran into Tony's music guy yesterday, and Sean says who would you recommend? We can't use you. You're Tony's person, but who might you be able to work with? And the guy literally is like, no. They have no problem with you here. They know you're here to serve. They know how much you give back to this ecosystem. They would be so happy if I helped you. And that is what is truly possible.
And what do you say about how they felt about this? What word to use? Begins with an L.
Love?
Yes.
Yes. How much they love. And that's because for years you have shown up here in service, year after year, event after event after event. And, you are in the, the highest of elite programs here. And, the least significant driven person in that program, the one person that continues to show up in service. And that's what integrity-based human influence actually is. And everything that we seek, all of the magic, all of the time, all of the contribution, money, time, and magic all happens on the other side of influence mastery. So definitely download that guide, have a conversation with one of our teammates, such as Adam Gugino.
Yes, and Scott, real quick in your heart, because Scott's a member of our elite. This wasn't set up. We didn't even know Scott was going to walk in. But for these folks, we said a lot to digest. Would you suggest having a conversation with Adam?
1,000%. 1,000%. I've talked to Adam a lot, and just talking about going into the heart. That's one thing I noticed he did today was just amazing just to get to that place, and level 5 listening, you learn so much just by listening to these people and understanding that you use it every single day, every single day of your life.
Thanks, Scott. And Tank, and here's the bottom line. Love you guys. We're here to like lessen suffering, people needing more money, less time, more magic. But it's like stuff's right in front of us. I almost died 7 weeks ago. True story, aortic dissection.